You know how the saying goes, it's about time? Well, get ready to dive deep because today we're tackling Rolex, a world where timekeeping meets luxury, innovation, and, maybe even a little bit of marketing genius.
It really is fascinating how Rolex went from just watches to like a symbol, like a standard that everyone knows.
Absolutely. And to think it all started not in Switzerland, as you might expect, but in London, all the way back in 1905.
London.
Yeah. Two brothers-in-law, Hans Wilsdorf and Alfred Davis, they kind of set this whole thing in motion. They weren't your traditional watchmakers, though.
Really?
No, they were importing Swiss movements, the intricate little hearts of watches, and then putting them into really high-quality British cases.
Ah, so they had an eye for quality right from the start. Smart move, using London as their launch pad. I mean, talk about a global stage.
Exactly. It's like they had this global vision from day one. Now, let's talk about Hans Wilsdorf, the man with the plan. He was orphaned young, but found himself in the world of Swiss watchmaking, really developed a deep appreciation for the craftsmanship.
But he wasn't content with just the way things were.
Not at all. Wristwatches back then, they weren't seen as very reliable, mostly marketed toward women. But Wilsdorf, he saw an opportunity.
And what was that?
He wanted to make the wristwatch a symbol of precision and style for men. Bold move, right?
Bold but genius. He basically predicted how men's style would evolve.
Exactly. Now picture this. 1910. Rolex achieved something huge, the first wristwatch ever to receive the Swiss Certificate of Chronometric Precision. That's like the ultimate stamp of approval for accuracy.
It wasn't just big for Rolex either. This completely changed how people saw wristwatches. They were suddenly serious instruments, not just accessories.
It's like they redefined the entire game. But they didn't stop there. Fast forward to 1926. The iconic Oyster case is born, the world's first waterproof watch case.
The Oyster case wasn't just about keeping water out. It was about protecting what was inside. They wanted to make sure those delicate movements stayed dry and accurate.
And they didn't just talk about it, they proved it. Remember that 1927 stunt with Mercedes Gleitz swimming the English Channel?
Oh yeah, that was incredible. Battling the waves for over 10 hours. And her Rolex, bone dry and ticking perfectly.
Such a powerful marketing moment. That's when the world took notice. But hold on, because they were just getting started. 1931, another game changer, the perpetual rotor.
Ah, the perpetual rotor. No more winding, just wear it and it winds itself. Talk about changing the game.
It really was a revolution. It was practical, innovative. Everyone wanted in on that technology. It's amazing to think, in just a few years, Rolex went from, well, starting out, to a major force in the watch world.
They were unstoppable, and their taste for innovation, it just kept going. Like, they literally set their sights on the most extreme places on Earth, starting with, well...
Mount Everest.
Yeah. 1953, you had Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay making history. And Hillary, he was wearing a prototype Rolex Explorer, a watch built to survive basically anything.
Talk about a test. If a watch can handle Everest, it can handle anything, right?
Exactly. The Rolex Explorer, it became the symbol of pushing limits, of exploring.
It makes sense. But they didn't stop there. Same year, they go from the top of the world to under the sea, introducing the Submariner.
The Submariner. World's first diving watch waterproof to 100 meters. That wasn't just a watch, it was a tool for those deep-sea divers.
It's like they were conquering every environment. Mountains, depths,
Yeah.
and then the skies. The GMT Master in 1955.
Ah, the jet set era. The GMT Master, Rolex, made it with Pan Am Airways for those long flights across time zones. Pilots needed to keep track, and this watch did it.
It's amazing how they found these niches, watches for very specific people and purposes, but still so stylish.
Totally. And speaking of style, we can't forget the President watch, the Day-Date.
Oh yeah, 1956. That was the first one to show the full day of the week, spelled out. So classy.
Definitely a watch for leaders, for people who appreciate the finer things. But even with all that, the technology, the looks, what really sets Rolex apart is how they're made.
Their commitment to quality is legendary.
It really is. Every single watch is made with such care. Hand-assembled, rigorously tested. They don't just meet the standards, they set them.
They even use 904L stainless steel. It's super strong, resists corrosion, but notoriously hard to work with. Most companies wouldn't bother.
But Rolex does, and it doesn't stop there. They create their own gold alloys too. Complete control over every single detail.
It's that attention to detail that makes a Rolex more than just a watch,
Right.
It's an heirloom, something you pass down.
Exactly. But we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the marketing genius behind it all. Hans Wilsdorf, he knew how to build a brand. He knew a luxury brand like Rolex. It had to be more than just a tool. It had to represent something, aspiration, achievement.
And he did that by connecting Rolex with things that already represented those qualities.
Like what?
Think about it. Wimbledon. The most prestigious tennis tournament in the world, all about tradition and, well, elegance.
True. Very Rolex.
Exactly. Or the 24 Hours of Le Mans. That grueling race, pushing cars and drivers to the limit. Precision. Endurance.
It's not just sponsoring either. Rolex is woven into those events, part of the fabric.
Exactly. And then you have the endorsements.
Yeah.
Explorers, athletes, world leaders, people at the top of their game choosing to wear a Rolex.
It's like they're saying, this is a sign that I've made it.
It's a subtle signal, but powerful. But here's the thing. It wasn't just marketing fluff. The quality was there to back it up. Rolex wasn't selling a dream. They were delivering on it.
Absolutely. And maybe the most amazing part of this whole story is that it goes beyond just making money.
Right. When Hans Wilsdorf died, he left behind the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation.
A private trust that actually owns Rolex to this day.
So all the profits, they go right back into philanthropy, supporting the arts, sciences, exploration, you name it.
It's like you buy a Rolex, you're not just buying a watch, you're supporting something bigger.
That's what's so incredible. It all started with a focus on precision, on timekeeping, and it grew into something that has a real impact on the world.
So yeah, next time you see that little crown, think about it. It's a symbol of a lot more than just telling time. It's innovation, it's quality, it's even generosity. It's a reminder that we can achieve great things when we set our minds to it. And maybe, just maybe, leave the world a little better than we found it.